Drake. I'm like, fuck a bill, Jack. Guaranteed to get the money regardless of any current predicament. I learned to adapt. I don't know what you boys thought this was. I'm 100% certain it ain't that. If you want me to give you a pat on the back.
What's poppin', TrezSooLit fam? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, TrezSooLit, baby. So look, we about to be reacting to this video, you feel me? I'm getting into the knowledge, you feel me, of South Africa. It's not just gonna be music videos anymore. I'm diving deep into a lot of other things, you feel me? So this right here is called The Rise and the Fall of South Africa's Apartness Laws, you feel me? This should be very interesting, bro. Very, very interesting. I know a lot of y'all like intellectual convo. I feel this will spark intellectual convo, and it's also a learning lesson for me. So I'm not gonna hold y'all. We're finna get straight into this, you feel me?
On April 27, 1994, Nelson Mandela cast his vote in the first free and democratic elections in South Africa, marking the official end to racial oppression and apartheid rule. Apartheid, a term we've heard before, but what exactly is it? The word itself stems from the South African dialect of Dutch Afrikaans and literally means apartness.
Okay.
But for millions in South Africa,
Native Indians and colors, if you enter these premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards will shoot on sight. Savage dogs devour the corpse. That's just, bro, you fucking killing me. Are you kidding me? Natives, Indians, and coloreds. If you enter these premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards shoot on sight. Savage dogs devour the corpse. What the fuck? Come on, bro. And it's so crazy. It's like, I know they be saying like this here in America. They be like, yo, slavery was such and such long ago. Get over it. But bro, like, it's just like the history, like, and it's still going on to this day. It's just like, how the fuck y'all expect us to get over it, dog?
it held a much darker reality. It was a system put in place by the Afrikaner National Party in 1948, which allowed for lawful segregation using racial divides.
Will you intensify your present policy of racial segregation?
The policy of, what do you mean by intensify? Whether any further measures are to come, it's impossible for me to say at the moment. I do not know of any.
The policy governed South Africa for nearly 50 years, but racial segregation existed long before apartheid even began. In 1913, the government passed...
Bro, listen. I learned about slavery here in the U.S. and stuff like that. We know they tell us that we were taken from Africa, but, you know, we are aware nowadays that not everybody came from Africa. You feel me? But, like, just to see, like, shit taking place like this in the motherland, bro, it irks my nerve, bro. It irks my nerve, bro, because when you get, the deeper you get into history, like, you know what I mean, the blacker it gets, bro. One time I read this book called Stolen Legacy, right? And it basically was saying how Alexander the Great, I think all life, they were saying, like, you know, the very first schools in the world were in, I think, Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Ethiopia. Don't quote me on that, but it was a book called Stolen Legacy, and it was basically saying how Alexander the Great and they came over here and they like just took everything from the Africans, bro. Like, it's just crazy, bro.
The Natives Land Act, limiting Black African land ownership to 7% and restricting them from buying or occupying land except as employees of a white master. More than 3 decades later, the practice of systematic racial segregation was given the name apartheid and was extended under the government led by the National Party. The party's goal was to separate South Africa's white minority from its non-white majority, in addition to separating non-whites from each other. They did this by putting in place hundreds of race laws touching every aspect of life, preventing equal opportunities for basic human rights to people of color, including dictating where they could live, work, go to school, all based on their race. Interracial relationships and marriages were illegal, and perhaps most importantly,
Bro, the same book I was just telling y'all about, it touched on interracial dating also. It states that if a black and a white have a baby together in Africa, I think that baby is considered white. But in America, If a black and a white have a baby together, that baby is considered black. You feel me? Or it could be the other way around. I'm not sure because I read this book so many years ago, but I love it, bro. I love it.
Non-whites did not have a right to vote.
All these laws after 1948 had one purpose in mind, and that was to ensure that the 4 million whites in South Africa had all the resources, the wealth, the jobs, the mines concentrated in their hands.
The Race Classification Act put people in 4 different categories: white at the top, followed by Indian, colored or of mixed descent, and black at the bottom. And within those groups were subgroups, further segregating ethnic and tribal groups. A number of pseudo-scientific tests were used to classify individuals suspected of not being European. For example, the pencil test.
Oh my God, yo, shouts out, I'm gonna get your name. I'm gonna get your name because you inboxed me on Instagram about the pencil test. I'm gonna get your name. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all gotta give me a sec. Hold on. I gotta get her name. Hold on. Gotta go on Instagram, y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta give her a shout out because she's the one that put me on. She's the first one that told me about it. Level Up Lee. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. You feel me? You was the first one like, yo, search up the pencil test. I swear to God, bro.
Of putting a pencil in an individual's hair. If the pencil fell to the floor, they passed the test and were considered white. If it stayed put, they were considered colored. Black South Africans were forced to carry identification at all times known as a passbook. Resistance to apartheid laws came in the form of mostly non-violent political protests. Together, freedom fighters like Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and Ahmed Kathrada started to play an important role for both the African and Indian National Congress parties. In 1952, they began a defiance campaign calling on people to purposely break apartheid laws in order to get arrested. People of color got onto white buses, used white toilets, and entered white areas. Their hope was that the high number of prisoners would cause the system to collapse. But it did not. Thousands ended up in jail. And in 1953, the Public Safety Act and Criminal Law Amendment Act were passed to impose even more severe penalties for demonstrating against the law. On March 21, 1960, a protest against the use of passbooks turned violent in the black township of Sharpeville, when police opened fire on unarmed protesters, leaving nearly 70 dead and 180 wounded, including children. A state of emergency was declared nationwide, and opposition political parties, including the ANC, were banned, forcing many to move their fight underground.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence against a government whose reply is only savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people.
By 1964, most resistant leaders, including Mandela, were sentenced to life imprisonment following the infamous Rivonia trials, which drew international attention. Eventually, a tide of global pressures put the government in a difficult position.
The world was changing. The Soviet Union had collapsed, and that was a major movement. There was increased calls for the divestment of companies from South Africa. There was a global movement to boycott South Africa.
Coupled with unrest within the country and the continued armed struggle, negotiations began between the ANC and the National Party. Slowly, apartheid began to dismantle. In 1990, at the age of 71, Nelson Mandela was released from prison.
I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people.
Elections were held 4 years later, with the ANC winning 62% of the vote and Nelson Mandela becoming president.
Yes, sir.
The people of South Africa won their country back, and
Yes,
apartheid
sir.
was abolished.
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
Man, bro, what an amazing story, bro. What an amazing story. This man went to jail, came out at 71, and then became president. That's what Trevor Noah was talking about when he said the minority oppressed the majority. And then the majority got back in power. That's what I believe he was talking about. Get in the comment sections and let me know, you feel me? Get this video a thumbs up. That way YouTube promote it to a broader audience, you feel me? Until next time, man, it's your boy, TrezSooLit, baby. Catch y'all in the next video, gang. Peace.